Let's start off with a little background. Talk about your experience with APS and the deal you took.
Well, I joined APS in 2005, February the 5th, 2005. To be exact, worked there as a principal at Parks Middle School.
Explain what happened. What's happened in the last 2 years?
Well, you know, the indictments were dropped, and I was one of the educators that I was indicted as well, and preparing for trial. Coming up to trial, we took a plea deal, negotiated plea deal. We pled guilty. I wanted to take some public responsibility for my part in the Atlanta Public Schools cheating scandal, so I was sentenced.
What was your deal?
My negotiated plea deal was that I would do 1,000 hours of community service, pay a $50,000 fine, and stay out of trouble, and 5 years of probation.
Did you ever wonder, what if I had taken this to court?
We thought we would go to trial, and we put together a major legal team to do so.
Have you watched the past few months, as this has been a trial, wondering, what if?
It really came down to the point that one side decided I needed to take public responsibility. Trial was no longer an option. Regardless of the money I spent for a trial legal team that specialized in trial cases, once I wanted to take that public responsibility, trial was no longer an option.
It sounds like you felt guilty and you didn't want to try.
I wanted to take responsibility for my part in the scandal, and that was very important to me at that time, and that's what we did.
Do you feel the plea deals that were offered today? Did you see what was offered today?
I didn't see directly, but I think indirectly I was able to kind of get a glimpse that there's some post-verdict negotiated plea deals that are being talked about. Don't know them all in detail, but I do know that.
I can tell you, for some individuals it involves, both is 1 year. In one case it's weekends only, in the other it's home. Jail from home, so to speak. One's a $10,000 fine, one is a $1,000 fine, depending on the group you're in.
I think that to have a post-verdict negotiated plea deal like that, I think those are options that people ought to weigh.
Does it seem? I mean, obviously you took the plea deal much earlier.
Yes, I did.
What would your advice be to those considering it this evening?
That to really look inside and see that if there's any way that you could have been misunderstood or could have done anything that could have been interpreted as a violation, to really think about themselves and their families and the community, and give us all a chance to move forward. A great portion of this is moving forward. It's time to move forward. It's time to put this behind us. I wanted to have a lot of time to really think about a lot of things that happened, and I wanted to put in writing another perspective. I think that the media did a real good job of putting one perspective in the minds, the eyes, and the homes of the the city and also the nation. And I wanted to put another perspective, and so we really capture a lot of different incidents that took place as my tenure as a principal in Atlanta Public Schools. Also, we talk a lot about some items and some transactions and things that happened with the cheating scandal. Again, another perspective. We talk about the children. We want them to continue their academic success. We want them to continue to be successful in life. We don't want to sing this song of victimization. We want children to continue to move forward and also put this behind them as well.
And so, what's your employment currently?
Well, currently, I'm finishing up my assignment. I'm a Methodist pastor, so we have yearly assignments, and I am finishing up my assignment at the Butler Street Church, which is an inner city church where we are pastor, senior pastor. We really work with our homeless ministry, feed about 600 people a week. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we're doing ministry and homeless ministry. We pastor the congregation. So I'm finishing up my pastoral assignment at the Butler Street Church.
Did you have a ministry before?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I apologize.
Chris, your collar has sunk down on the other side. Yeah.
So you were teaching and a minister sort of on the side, and the ministry became your full time?
I was ministering and teaching on the side.
So you said, okay, gotcha. That was always your priority.
Yes, ministry has always been priority.
When was your plea deal offered? Have you completed the plea deal?
I'm still working through the terms of the plea deal, making the payments, and continuing to work and do the community service.
What's left until it's behind you as far as the deal is concerned?
We have a ways to go. We're working at it, and we're getting it done.
So it was never in your mind to push through court, to stay on this, to fight for a lesser deal than you were offered?
Well, actually, again, once we decided to take the plea deal, to go in and to accept our responsibility for it, we never considered trial again. We didn't have to get to the point of accepting our publicly accepted responsibility. But once we got to that part, initially that wasn't the route we were going. Initially, we were very clear that we were going to trial. But when we got to the point of accepting public responsibility, I had to do what was best for me, what was best for my family, and also look at the advice that was given to me by my legal team. And
Was this to clear your conscience, or was this to take a deal that would keep you out of jail?
It was to accept public responsibility for my part in the scandal. And that's primarily what the district attorney asked. I think they asked us all, and Judge Baxter talked about it, accepting responsibility, looking at our actions or inactions. And when I look at my actions or inactions, I need to take public responsibility. I've done it prayerfully and privately. I need to take public responsibility. So we did that.
Have you stayed in touch with any of the educators who were on trial?
No, sir.
Were you before the trial, before you took the deal, or
No, sir. Contrary to popular belief, all of the educators indicted in the chief, we don't know each other. We came to know each other, or at least by face, even if not totally by name, in the indictments, in the time in court and things of that nature. But we really, we don't know each other. We don't eat together, or go out there. We don't really know each other. So the only person that I probably had a lot of communication with, even as a principal, was my immediate supervisor, Mr. Pitts.
okay? Anything else going through your mind as this has come to such a boiling point in the past 2 weeks?
We continue to pray for everyone that's involved. We continue to want to see the children succeed in Atlanta Public Schools, those who are still in and those who have gone to Atlanta Public Schools, continue their academic success. We want to see this move behind us so the city can really heal and move forward.
Did you discuss, others were certainly offered the plea deal when they decided to go to trial and fight this. Did you discuss that with them, or was this a solitary experience for you?
No, I didn't discuss directly with any of the defendants about taking a plea deal, and I really wish that any of the current defendants, I think at some point we talked to a couple of defendants prior as plea deals were being done. I wish that I had an opportunity probably to talk more directly to those who went to trial. At least
What would you have said?
I would have told them the same thing. Just take a moment to really reflect and see if there's anything that could have been done, misinterpreted, anything that could have been said. If there's any action or inaction, is there any way that they were a part of it? I would have asked them prior to going to trial to really consider looking at their part in the scandal to see if they found anything that they may have done wrong and to accept responsibility for it. One of the things that I continue to hear is that even the judge today, accept responsibility, accept responsibility. That's where we are, and I think the sooner we all accept responsibility, the faster we can put it behind us. I know that I can say that accepting responsibility, it took me a while to get there, but the only way I really was able to put this in a vehicle to put behind me was to be able to accept responsibility publicly for my part in the scandal. And once I did that, things just began to move forward. Until then, you really couldn't move forward. So you talk about accepting a plea deal to clear conscience or to avoid jail. A plea deal gives you an opportunity to take public responsibility. It's a public matter, it's a community matter, and I need to take public responsibility. And I would urge anyone that may have any fault in it to really look deep to see if they can find a way to take public responsibility.
All right, very well said. Thank you so much. Great job.
Jerry?
Thank you. Okay. The hardest part is really just making sure the fine stays, that we get that behind.
Was there ever a desire to clear your name? Or it almost sounds like you wanted to clear your name by taking responsibility.
Well, and in the book we really talk about that. The purpose of the book is not even a step of redemption. There is no name clearing. This is my part in it, and I have to own it. And you know, in the book we talk about, we're not trying to write a book to redeem Chris Waller. We're just trying to write a book to say this is another side. This is what we saw. This is what I dealt with in the community that I served. This is what I saw every day. You know, I was a father figure for most of the children that were in the community. They didn't know fathers until they came to school. We had a sanctuary at the school. You know, so we really, you know, it's not about redemption. It's just about being responsible. And saying, hey, I erred. I didn't do the right things at the right time. I made a mistake. And
There's an old saying: "A guilty man unpunished is not a guilty man unpunished is not free."
And I can understand that. And then you don't ever want to, because you never know when children are really watching you. You know, and you know, you just want to make sure that even when you make errors, that you try to be public and let the same people you lead see you fixing the errors or trying to right the wrongs. You know, and
There's a lesson in this.
it's a major lesson in this. And then how not to let it happen again. How to avoid it, how to put things in place, how to know when you're being recruited to do something that could put you in this hot seat. You know,
Sure.
What are the steps? And we
What
talk
are
about that.
the
in the
early
book.
red flags
What are
along
the
the
early
way.
red flags? We talk about that in the book. And what are the steps you should take? And how to get the courage to do
So
it.
from your perspective, this isn't something that suddenly happened. It was something that
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's not something that suddenly happened. I think if we really tell the truth, it's happened for a while in a lot of places. Talk about that in the book.
Yeah. Systematic.
Yeah, a lot of places. A lot of places.
What? So it was you're a principal. Did you ever teach or do?
Yes, I taught 5 years, taught science. Those were the good days. Coached football, taught science, coached football.
How many years were you in education?
A total of 15 years.
15 years.
15 years. 5 as a teacher, 5 as an assistant principal, 5 as a principal. 5, 5, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it all.
Well, we did. We did a part. We did a good bit of it. So.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you very much.